Hi, everybody. Welcome to the newest edition of the Quarantine Concert Series. My name is Kabir Segel, and I'm your host. And this is show number 11. Show number 11. And I'm so excited for this particular episode. But before I get to that, I just want to explain what we're doing. Obviously, by now, you all know we're all quarantined and we're practicing social distancing. And with that, that's really had a severe effect on the creative community. Artists have lost their gigs. Producers and managers have also lost out on this. Basically, anyone who's touching the creative sector is in a tough shape right now. So we're trying to band together every night at 10 p.m. Eastern. You can join us here on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, or and Instagram. We're on IGTV. So on all platforms, we're trying to share some of the best music that I've come across among the people that I know. And if you're an artist who wants to get on the show, please, can send me a message on Instagram or Facebook. We do have a waiting list to get on the show now. And I do want to thank our partners, especially LinkedIn, for treating this as a live broadcast. And for those of you tuning in on LinkedIn, just know that if you're watching on LinkedIn, you have to buy 10 more products than anyone else, because I know you're my friends in the financial world. So make sure you're supporting the artists as much as possible. So with that, I want to introduce a very special friend, and friends actually. Sometimes for the show you have to prepare and read up about the artist. And preparing for this show was basically just asking my friend Gregorio how he was doing and how his family is doing, because I've known him for a long time. He was one of the first artists that I met when I moved to New York. That was over 10 years ago now. So I've been to a lot of his gigs. I've helped. I've collaborated on some of his projects, and he's one of the most dynamic and exciting artists I've ever come across. And I'm excited to share him and his music with you tonight. Also joining us is Solange, and she is also equally as dynamic, probably even more dynamic, I would think, than Gregorio. And I'm excited for her to join and learn more about her. And you have both a Colombian and an Argentinian coming together. And if you guys are lucky, maybe if you're unlucky, I'm going to practice some Spanish tonight and apply my Duolingo skills. So bienvenido, Gregorio y Solange.
Hola. Buenas
Hola,
noches,
hola.
everybody. Buenas noches, Kabir.
Buenas
¿Cómo
noches.
estás?
¿Cómo está? Muy bien, muy bien. How are you? How is your family? How's it been with this pandemic? How has the pandemic affected you, both professionally and personally?
Damn. Well, in my case, I switched to teaching virtually, some voice lessons. But a bunch of shows have been canceled or are like, kind of standby. A few things that I had lined up are a little bit up in the air. So I feel really bad for all of our musician friends that are more of in the touring side of the thing or more in the live show side. Luckily, I've been keeping up with my classes, which is great, and I'm, releasing some music. So that's for now. Maybe hopefully people are still wanting to listen to new things and not only talk about coronavirus. And but yeah, I really feel that we should make an effort to support the artists that are not as lucky as maybe I am right now, that I can continue working.
As I was saying before, I was telling Kabir that I feel that although the artistic community, it's this really hits many of us, but I feel that I've also been lucky that I am kind of used to working from home, and so things haven't changed that much for me. I know it's something that sucks for so many people, but it hasn't been that crazy for me, and I also like to take these moments for kind of going inwards, I guess, and seeing maybe like planting seeds of future projects, or kind of, because I'm obviously hopeful that this will have to end, whether it's quickly or it'll take a little more time. But I'm just kind of thinking of what's ahead after. So it's, in a way, it's kind of like a good moment for me to stop and plan, actually.
Yeah, I'm sure you've had to cancel a lot of gigs. Have you rebooked them? Is there any sort of daylight at the end of the tunnel, or are you just sort of waiting to rebook stuff?
On my side, I'm waiting. I'm waiting because there's some stuff that is like in May, which is, that definitely seems like that'll be a little impossible. But there's also stuff in June and July that that I think that nobody feels comfortable making any strong decisions. What I think it's nice though, I don't know if nice, but it's like the silver lining is that it's nice where because this is happening all throughout the world. Everybody seems to be understanding, so it's like everybody, it's not like when you are sick or something happened in your country or in your city. It's like everybody has to be just flexible and understanding, and everybody's like, okay, well, let's kind of figure this out, and everybody has to be patient with everybody. That's my experience.
Totally. Well, we would love to hear some music. What are you going to begin your performance with tonight?
We're gonna begin with a song that we wrote together. It's called Sempiterno, which is a little bit of a tough word, but it actually.
I think we have to hear Kabir say that one.
Yeah, I think you should try it.
Sempiterno. Sempiterno.
Very good.
Sí.
Good.
Muy bien.
Epepa.
That's a cool word. It's like a mix of like siempre and eterno, like always and eternal. And this song that we're gonna perform now, it's based on an article that we found about the 40 most beautiful words in the Spanish language. So, as we both are lovers of lyrics and poetry and books, we decided to go on this mission of finding out what all these words meant. I mean, out of those 40, maybe we knew like 6. So there were like 34 to learn. Not only what they meant, but how to use them. So we started a song kind of like the other way around, because we usually start songs
with a meaning,
with,
right?
with
like
a well, more like with a
theme.
melody, right? We come up with
Yeah.
like a melody and the music, and then maybe
But you also kind of know what you're talking about.
Right.
We didn't really know what we were
we
talking
didn't really know what we were talking about, and we also didn't know, yeah, how, what it would lead us, and so this is the outcome.
Yeah.
Si me despierto al alba con ese olor pétrico, pienso en mi nefelibata, que es resiliente al dolor.
Es su recuerdo ha sembrado la ataraxia de su voz, tan llena de bonhomía y de perenne compasión. Ojalá que la melancolía no le robe su lugar, tan inefable y diligente y lejos de la soledad. Arrebol, destellos en la aurora, serendipia de un amor, la epifanía efervescente de encontrar una canción para los dos. Si llega la limerencia, cual efímero ademán, rapto de luminiscencia, como libélula al mar. ¿Será que es una entelequia el desenlace que vi, oscuro, inconmensurable, que me responde por ti? Llegará meliflua melodía que nos cuente la verdad, el
etérea onda transparente, una inocente realidad. Arrebol, destellos en la aurora, serendipia de un amor, la epifanía efervescente de encontrar una canción para los dos.
Bravo, bravo, maestro y maestra.
One person clapping. Is everybody clapping? Are you guys clapping at home?
It's me. I'm clapping. I'm representing the world here. That's a heavy burden. I know it's a heavy burden, but I'm speaking on behalf of 191 countries around the world, and they love you both universally.
Wow.
Yeah.
I knew this would be my big break.
Sinue says, "Que bella canción, Sonia de los Santos. Que gusto ver los amigos. Saludos. Hola." And just a lot of love. A lot of love for you guys out there.
We love you.
Viva Mexico.
Amazing.
Viva Mexico.
Friends.
Yeah. So tell me about your songwriting process. I know Gregorio, we worked together before. How do you take idea and put them to lyrics? What's the magic behind your craft?
To me, it really, there's like what I like to call like a seed, like the seed of the song, the essence that always comes, or 90% of the time comes in a very unexpected moment. For example, the other day I had a funny one where I was sort of late to an event and I was running around and looking for my wallet, and whatever, my scarf, and this song just pops into my head, this little melody with a little lyrics. I'm like, this is not the time. Like, get out of my head. I don't even have time to record you on my phone. Get out of here. But it doesn't ask for permission. So it's really beautiful because I believe it just kind of comes in a very unexpected moment, and I feel that that's like a little seed, or like almost like a little bird that you just kind of want to put in your hands and be very, at the beginning you have to be very delicate, very careful to not scare it away, and to kind of just listen to see what it's trying to say, like what's the song about, or because sometimes it actually comes with maybe some mumbling or some common words, and it's almost like it's trying to tell you something. So I think that's the first stage for me. And then as you little by little start developing and kind of just taking pieces and finding what it's about, then there's a really a process that I really enjoy, that it's more like fun and it's more like a puzzle, and that's where, like, sit down for a few hours, maybe with with coffee and some cookies, definitely something sweet, and then you start crafting, like, okay, well, this is where these words are gonna go. But most of the time is usually the melody, and then I'm completing the lyrics around the melody. That's for me.
Let me go ahead.
No, you go.
I was gonna say that your last song. How did the process work for your last single? If we can put it up on the screen, what was that process like for you, Gregorio, for your last single?
Okay, for Media Naranja. Well, it's funny because I've been, because I released this recently, and I've been doing a lot of interviews, and they always ask me, like, oh, how did this song develop? And it happens to me with most songs that I don't remember. I don't remember, because that moment of, like, the very beginning, it's so, maybe comes from a little bit from the unconscious. You kind of, it's almost like a dream, like when you wake up it's hard to remember dreams. So I don't remember exactly. There's one thing that I do remember that kind of inspired, I guess, part of the idea, but maybe I was already writing the song, and it was this article that someone sent me, and it was just talking about how uh, relationships and love are changing, and it's kind of changing this idea of our more traditional romantic idea, boy meets girl, they're each other's other half, and they complete themselves. And this, what I did with this song was kind of pay homage to the new type of maybe relationships, or at least the idea of options within love, and kind of talking about how everybody maybe can be a complete individual and then complement each other with someone else. And it also talks about different types of relationships, and gender, and sort of like to each their own, whether it's LGBT or polyamorous or open or whatever it is like everybody find their own way to love.
Awesome. And Solange, I want to speak about you and your next, and your forthcoming single in the next segment. But for now, we'd love to hear another song. What will you perform for us next?
What are we doing?
Canto.
Oh, canto. So we're gonna do another song that we co-wrote, and this one is candombe. Candombe is a folklorical rhythm from Uruguay, and it's usually played with 3 different drums. The piano, which is like a big fat one, the excuse me, the chico, which is like a little drum that does like a steady pattern, and then the repique, who's the one that it's the one that improvises.
And Solange is gonna play the 3 of them today.
I'm gonna try to approach some kind of like rhythm that
Incorporate some.
incorporate something that sums up those that pattern. It's all on the 3/2 clave, right? So that's what we're gonna try to do here with the song. And you want to talk about the lyrics?
Well, sure. Well, it's called canto as in I sing, and I think I don't remember how that came out, but I think it also talks about the idea of like I will always be singing in a way. Would that be the moral of the story?
Yeah.
Oh no, like it's instinctive for me to sing, right? Like it's like that we give.
It's almost like
examples.
a need. It's almost like a need to. I think where it's metaphorically, it's like a way to. It's like the most direct way to express ourselves, because we all come with a voice, and so this song is almost like I'll always express myself, like a kid playing, like a bird flying, like we're always gonna be singing all our lives.
Like beer gets you drunk. You also say
Right.
stuff like that. So this is canto. All right.
Okay. Oh, headphones off.
Canto como niño a la rayuela, como pájaro que vuela, como el peso de un domingo. Canto como crece la maleza, como llena la cerveza, como abuela juega al bingo. Canto como uva que fermenta, como mate al argentino, como escribe Florentino, como dar la vuelta al sol. Canto como embriaga el aguardiente, como se odia al presidente, como a bombo y chacarera. Canto como foto de turista, cual soldado que se enlista, como décima de Drexler. Pero si no canto no me extrañes, porque la palabra queda, porque vengo de la greda, porque doy la vuelta al sol. La 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 la. Canto como niño a la rayuela, como pájaro que vuela, como el peso de un domingo. Canto como fruto de turista, cual soldado que se enlista, como décima de Drexler. Pero
no me extrañes, porque la palabra queda, porque vengo de la greda, porque doy la vuelta al sol, 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 porque doy la vuelta al sol.
Oh, con headphones.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Muchas gracias.
Solange, you sound amazing.
Oh, thank
Gregorio,
you.
that's not bad. That's not bad either for yourself.
You could do better, but hey.
No, you know,
Sing better too.
there's always room for improvement, Gregorio. Um, I can say that because I've known you for a while, but I do wanna, forget about you for a second, Gregorio. We need to focus on tomorrow's a very important day because Solange is releasing her new single. I want to hear all about your new single. Tell me the name of it. Well, there it is. Tell me
Yeah.
how you came up with it and what's the concept about it.
Well, it's called Loop, as you can see there, and it basically it's the first single of my album that's I'm gonna be releasing in the next months. I'm gonna start releasing some singles and then eventually the full album. And I just did a Kickstarter campaign to record the second half of the album, so I'm like really happy and excited. And this came about because of a very special encounter and a very magical, um, let's just say, 24 hours of feeling a chemistry with someone, like an explosion that um, you can't ignore. And you can't refuse, and it catches you by surprise. And I'm sure we've all been there at some point where you are like, what is this? I was not expecting this amazing chemistry with this person, and I just don't want it to ever end. And that's why the chorus of the song goes, let's make a loop for 20 of these 24 hours, meaning, let's just never end this beautiful feeling of being so happy and connected to someone. um
Were
and
you writing
so
about anyone in particular?
maybe
Okay.
maybe someone that I've been looping for a bunch of days now, years. And so yes, success. And it's a way to talk about love, but not maybe not the typical way, because it talks about to me songs are like photographs, are like snapshots of a moment in your life that is shot, and it catches that the essence of what's happening in that moment. And to me, that song was what was happening right there. And I didn't know if it would end up being forever or not, if it would end up being like, like the couple that we are now. But like at that moment, like it just felt like, oh my god, what is this wonderful thing that I'm living, and I just don't want it to end. And I think it's because love is such a common place that as songwriters we visit over and over again. It's good to find different angles to talk about it. Say Gregorio's song talks about a very different angle. Mine is talking about this like very specific moment that I felt such a magic thing between us. And to me, every song is like a little bit of a different a different way to write it. But this one was one of those that just kind of like comes down to you. It just came, um, and I think those are some of the most beautiful ones, because it's just like a stream of conscious that you can just grab an instrument and it's like right there. And I'm a melody lover. I would call myself that. And that's why I have constant melodies coming to me, and then it's a matter of like, okay, what is this talking about? Okay, and maybe some words come to mind, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna talk about this. And yeah, this one was very organic. And so it's gonna be up tomorrow on my YouTube channel. You can all watch the video. It was shot in Argentina in a beautiful location called Tigre, and a great team of Argentinians right there. And I have a very special guest in the song. His name is Jorge Glem. Maybe some of you know him. He's an incredible cuatro player. He just won a Latin Grammy with his group C4 Trio just last year. And, it's an honor for me to have him, and I'm very excited to release this song as an opening line, let's just say, of my album. So, yeah, tune in tomorrow around noon and you can watch the video of Loop.
Awesome. Well, I've heard some of your music. I've heard you perform live, and went back and listened to your songs. Of course, I haven't heard this one, but I went back and listened to some of the songs you have on Spotify, and you always deliver such. Yeah, you're such a great writer, and you are so evocative in your word choices and how you perform. So I'm sure this is going to be just an incredible production. So I'll be there clicking on YouTube. So if you're watching at home, go to her YouTube channel. Also go to her website, solangeprat.com, and subscribe to her YouTube channel so you get notified tomorrow when this goes live. So in the middle of your lunch, wherever you are, you're like, oh, let me go check out what Loop's all about.
I'm sure people will be at home.
Yeah, exactly. Well, some people are going to go for walks. I try to go for a daily walk. So on my daily walk tomorrow, I'll be notified. And for those of you watching on Instagram, Gregorio is safe. There is not an earthquake happening in Colombia right now. He's just moving the phone around. So I just want to make sure that we're getting some comments that is Gregorio okay, because it looks like the house is shaking.
Well,
Are you okay?
the reason why I'm moving is because I didn't have it was running out of battery, so I'm connecting it, and now I have to hold it. I don't know how because I can't really put it sideways.
Yeah, just to practice your. Yeah, and you look more ripped these days. You've been exercising, right? I can tell.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you that it I bought these for my birthday a few months ago. I bought these weights to have at home. And because I'm like, I can't be bothered going to the gym. And then I'm like, oh, maybe this was a waste of money. I don't think I should do this because I'd rather go train with other people and kind of do it as a group. But now that we're in quarantine, it's like perfect. So I've been every day like, okay, well they serve the purpose. So we're not going crazy.
We have some comments saying, "Don't tell us, show us." So I'll let you respond to the comments. I mean, I'm just reflecting with the comments. So if you want to show the flex.
Listen, I think no, it's if I don't have anything interesting to show to, but listen, but maybe I'm gonna start my a new Instagram page, which is like gregoriosmuscles.com. So you can go and check out my tiny little muscles there and their progress.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, some people are asking again, let's put up Solange's website. Some people are asking what the link is. So if you can put up the website again for Solange. So we have some graphic, there she is on the phone.
Yeah, and you can go to YouTube. It's just Sol Prat.
Awesome. If you have a question, these two master musicians, please drop a comment and we'll make sure you can ask them anything you want. I can't promise you that they'll respond, but anything you want, I'll be sure to raise it with them. Even if it's uncomfortable, I'll be happy to raise it with them. All right, what is the next song?
Well, since we were talking about loop, that's what we're gonna do.
I think we're gonna change, right?
Yeah, we're gonna switch.
We're gonna switch sides because we're gonna switch instruments. We'll try to cover as many instruments as we can in the duo. I think I need your headphones.
Hey, Alex. Alex just joined.
Oh wait, you're playing guitar, right?
Yeah.
There we go. You know what? I'll let you tell. Oh, you want to grab the headphones? So we're ready?
Yeah, I think we are.
Are we ready on your end, Kabir? Awesome. Also, we don't need the headphones.
Okay.
Pues cool. Shake it. Maraquita.
Boy. It goes loop. ¿Qué pasará? ¿Cómo será ese momento de despegarnos y andar solos por ahí? De separar estos cuerpos inmersos, entregados al trance perfecto de un romance así. ay, se podrá, se logrará haber sentido el abrazo divino que atesora la raíz, sincronizar nuestras pieles, las manos, los vientres, la sensibilidad. Las horas se fueron volando y el sol despuntó por ahí y nos sorprendió la mañana tomando café con whisky. Por eso hagamos un loop de estas 24 horas. Hagamos un loop de estas 24 horas. Improvisar la libertad, los corazones latiendo al unísono, comiéndose a besos sin poderse saciar. La noche fue extendiéndose sin fin.
La noche fue extendiéndose sin
Los
fin.
días se olvidaron de
Los
existir.
días se olvidaron de existir.
Bailamos 100 canciones apretados para sobrevivir, creando nuestra propia realidad.
Creando nuestra propia
Nos
realidad.
habitamos sin pensar de más.
Habitamos sin pensar de
Por 1000
más.
horas más nos adoramos en forma horizontal. Hagamos un loop de estas 24 horas. 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 ¡Ey! Hagamos un loop, hagamos un loop de esta noche perfecta.
Hagamos un
Tú y yo pasándola rico juntos toda la noche. Vamos a
Hagamos
lupear esta canción y este amor.
hagamos un hagamos un loop.
Hagamos un loop de estas 24
The standing ovation. The standing ovation.
Oh, gracias.
Let me keep going.
Guys, thank you so much. Oh, that's so cute. I'm so sorry I'm coughing, but I'm coming out of a laryngitis, not the C word, so don't worry.
No, I'm sure it'll be fine. I have my hand sanitizer right here, ready to go. For those of you at home, pocket-sized edition. Pocket-sized edition.
Okay.
That was beautiful, Solange. That was beautiful.
Oh, wait.
A lot of moving around in this band.
I know.
Thank you.
It's a full production. You know, we started this just a week ago, and now I have like 15 screens open. It's like I'm trading investment banking again. It's like, all right, we have the Colombian markets open right now. You can see
And the Argentinians.
the Argentina, of course. Argentina is having some more difficulty economically, but that's for another show. It's for another
Oh yeah,
show.
that's for a full
Okay.
show.
So I have a couple questions here.
Yeah.
One question from Daisy. Daisy is a dreamer. She was featured on a record I put out a couple years ago. She wants to know from both of you, what is the worst advice that you've received in your career and you're happy that you didn't take it? What's the worst
Oh
advice that
wow.
someone gave you and you're actually
The
happy that you
worst
didn't take it?
the worst advice that I got from someone, I was really young. I was like 19 or something, and someone told me to have a boob job. I swear to God. And I was like, are you kidding
I
me? I was
didn't
gonna
know
say
that.
the F word. I don't know if there are children watching. But anyway, I was like, what? And I was just like, I went out, I went home and I started crying. And then I realized like, no, like this guy will it doesn't get what music is to me, and like I should not even
Oh,
think about this. But that was the worst advice I ever got.
wow, that's a good story.
Yeah.
And on my end, it's funny because it's not exactly what you're asking. I think it's more embarrassing because I actually took the advice. Just fortunately, it didn't come through. So I was called to do like one of these Dancing with the Stars in Colombia, like one of those shows. And I was like, ugh, I don't know, it's not really my thing, but it's exposure and stuff. So the embarrassing thing is that I said yes, but then they just didn't choose me.
But you're a
so,
good dancer.
so it's good advice. It's bad advice that I took, but that I think it's good that it didn't come through.
All right. Gregorio, a question for you. How many hats do you own?
Well,
So many.
actually, not many. Not many. I own a lot of the same hats. So basically,
Exactly.
this hat I have. Well, I have a lot for. I had probably around 20 of these guys because we use it with my big band. Sometimes when we do the show, we have a little special moment where everybody wears the hat. So I have a lot of those. But then it's like really, it's like I have this is the same hat that I always get, but it lasts me about a few years. I wear it so much that it just starts breaking and getting holes in there, and I just replace it with a new one. So that's it. It's like the eternal hat.
A lot of people are asking because the audio cut out. What does Solange say? And I don't want to say it. So can Solange say what was the piece of advice that you're glad you didn't say? It's better coming from you than from me repeating.
Oh.
You say it again.
uh, that this dude, when I was 19 years old, he told me like you should get a boob job.
You got that at home? You got that at home? So that's what she said. All right. I wasn't going to reconvey that. So another question coming. You can ask this. You can answer this if you want. What is the most challenging thing about being in a relationship and performing together?
What?
Yeah,
Who
it's the
wants to go
Oprah
first?
moment.
Who wants to go first?
You go.
All right. What's well?
Nothing. Everything's like
Yeah, it's
just like a
perfect. Everything is
breeze.
Good,
perfect.
good. That's the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. What the question is, what's the hardest thing of being in a relationship and performing together, basically, right?
Yes.
Um, well, I think it's more than the relationship is also being that we have both been sort of fronting bands for many years, and coming to compromises is hard. At least for me, kind of coming from being like the leader of a big band, and then we're performing together. It's like, well, here I it's a negotiation. We don't just do whatever I say, right? And that's a little harsh for me. I don't know what it is for you.
I think it's hard to sometimes separate the personal vibe of what's happening between us from the music. So if we're having like a great day, usually we'll have like a great rehearsal and a great show. But if we're having like more of like a rough day, we'll be like a little
Yeah,
bossy at each other and
yeah,
like on each other's like nerves and it will be a little bit more tough. But it's like underlying
yeah.
vibe that we have.
Yeah, but I like also to say, the good side of it is that we do realize that when we play, or even if it's just at home and rehearse, usually it's better for the relationship, right?
Yeah, actually, the other day we did some. We were like, oh, let's just play some music, and we played some of our songs because we never really play them if we don't have to perform. And it was like, oh, we're gonna have this live session with Kabir. Like, let's just play some of the songs, and we were like, oh, really, shouldn't we do something different? No, let's do them. And then when we were playing them, we were like, oh, we actually like enjoy them so much. Like it's so refreshing when you like the music that you make, and you know you enjoy the lyrics, and like you kind of like go back to like, oh yeah, we wrote that song when we were like in at the beach, or when we were in like in what's this
The mountains.
the mountains, that place in Colombia, the
Our
paradise,
Tayrona.
the Parque
Tayrona.
Tayrona, you know, like every song that we wrote together has a story, and so I don't know, it's just like very very refreshing and good for us in
It's
the
good for us
relationship
to
at the
play,
end of
yeah.
the day.
I'm looking forward to listening to your Corona outbreak quarantine, the songs that come out of this. So
I know.
I'm sure it's a lot of
Do you
fertile
have
time.
do you
Yeah.
have an idea? Do you have ideas for the title of the album?
Yeah, we're going to call it Unleashed because once you come out of your shell, you're going to go on your world tour and conquer the world. It already is.
Burn.
Yeah. What are you going to perform for us next?
Well, since Sol just sang her what's gonna be her new single, I am gonna sing what's my latest single, which is called Media Naranja. We talked about it. Interestingly, I already explained a little bit of what it's about, but I'll just say that one thing that it's interesting of the name, you know, it just means half orange, and that might sound weird, but it's basically what in Latin America, right? They use it in Argentina too.
Yeah.
At least in many countries in Latin America, when somebody says you're my half orange, is like you're my soulmate or you're my better half. So this is Media Naranja, and here's a little acoustic version with my fellow, my mate, my brother, the accordion. And
Oh, I thought you were calling
we'll
me
be
your
good.
brother. That was gonna be like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa.
I'm your friend. Like, not your brother. Come on.
Not that close. So here's the accordion. Oops. And this got a little cumbia rhythms in there from Colombia. And if you're at home, listen, just dance away because, you know, I know you can't go to clubs these days. So here we go. Se siente un viento de cambio, se reinventa la poesía. Julieta hace un doctorado, Romeo no se suicida y el príncipe y la princesa se la pasan de pelea. Y aquel amante chipriota lo traicionó Galatea. Eva ya no utiliza su apellido de casada. Adán plancha sus camisas, pero brillan sus miradas mientras se burlan los orillas de las falsas monogamias. Dicen que Bacho y Bochica se la pasan en terapia. Yo quiero que tú acompañes mi preciada soledad. Yo quiero que tú acompañes mi preciada soledad. Prometo cuidar la tuya y ofrecerte mi verdad. Prometo cuidar la tuya y ofrecerte mi verdad. Dulcinea tiene un novio que conoció en internet. Hoy viven en concubinato, igual que María y José. Tristan ya salió del closet y vive en Miami Beach. Orfeo volvió a casarse, esta vez por lo civil. Se escasean las mitades, se ahoga la hipocresía. Quedan dos cuerpos enteros, queda tu risa y la mía. Y no soy tu media naranja, tú no eres mi solución. No quiero tu dependencia, pero me encanta tu olor. Yo quiero que tú acompañes mi preciada soledad. Yo quiero que tú acompañes mi preciada soledad. Prometo cuidar la tuya y ofrecerte mi verdad. Prometo cuidar la tuya y ofrecerte mi verdad. Y ofrecerte mi verdad. Y ofrecerte mi verdad.
Yeah,
Thank you. Oh,
that was Naranja Totalmente. Not half, that
Yeah,
was the
totalmente
whole
naranja.
thing. You have to rename it
Ooh,
now.
see. All right, I hope you enjoy.
That was the full orange, man. The full thing. I
Good.
mean, I don't know. It's the real deal. There's Las Frutas. Beautiful song, beautiful song. Um,
Thank you.
Gregorio, you and I met many moons ago, and you were leading the big band in New York, and used to play at Zinc, and it was one of the most exciting nights of the week. I'm sure you miss it, but do you have any? Do you ever wish to go back and lead the big band? Do you have any of those feelings? So you know what, I want to continue in
Um,
that format.
yes and no. It was such an amazing time. I love the music, the hang, both the crowd. The crowd was so special, and the band was so special. People in the band were from so many different parts of the world, but throughout the years we became very close, and it was so beautiful to see that everybody was there for the love. So it was an amazing time, but I also think that you always have to kind of be moving forward and exploring and changing things and challenging yourself to different aspects of your music or whatever that you're doing. So I don't I try to be careful of not just kind of not thinking of it as, how would you say, of just of glorifying that moment too much, and always just keep thinking forward and keep looking forward to what I'm doing. These days, I'm one of the things I enjoy the most is just sitting down and playing an accordion and writing in a rhythm. That's something that I wasn't really doing at that time. So I do. I mean, the big band, we do still do shows every now and then, so that also makes it more special because it's now every time that because it's less often. You kind of don't know when the next show is gonna be, so it's really cool, and I am missing doing a show with the big man, but the
Yeah,
daily grind of what that implies.
yeah.
I think that was also something that you needed to be in that moment and have at that age and really just pushing for it. And these days, I feel like very just close to being more minimalistic and doing stuff from my instrument.
I hear you. Live in the moment. What a good sort of message for everyone to embrace these days. And those of you watching on Instagram, if you have difficulty listening to the audio, you can click on the link on my bio, and we're broadcasting on every other service. So just check out Facebook or Twitter or something. The thing I wanted to ask you, Gregorio, is you have been leading these trips to Colombia. And I know that's probably on hiatus right now, but talk a little bit about why you started this and what's been the success so far of the trips to Colombia.
Oh well, that's something that's very very exciting. Basically, what it entails is it's music tourism, or music/community tourism. Basically, we go with a small group of about 15 travelers from anybody who's a music lover and interested in having an authentic experience about music. And we spent the whole week in the Caribbean of Colombia, every day going to a different town and getting to hear a different style and different type of music. But not just hearing it, but going into the houses of the local musicians, of the old masters who are, have this type of heritage and ancestral knowledge, and we're breaking bread with them. We are learning from them. We're kind of going into their lives. So it's kind of really the behind the scenes of Colombia in that sense. And these are the people who aren't necessarily musicians. Some are, but it's more like what the message here is that music is really the glue, the bridge that makes us see the other person and see how other people live, and kind of empathize with that, and connect, even if people speak a different language. And so this has been a great joy, and they were inspired because when I was studying in Boston, I was studying music. I was also very at the moment, as I was learning, basic music theory and all that in the university. But I was also had a craving to learn more about the music from my country. So every time I would come to Colombia, I would just go out to small towns and take lessons and percussion lessons, learn about traditional rhythms. And more than the actual music that I was learning, it was really the sort of the friendships and the joy that I would get from sharing with folks who just have a lot of love to give.
Bueno, we have time for one more song. So what would you like to conclude your quarantine session with?
I wanted to suggest to this, not behind the scenes. Wanna do your cumbia? That could be fun with the vihuela and the accordion. Or do you
Sure.
want to do them? Is that cool?
Yeah, of course.
Or you rather would do the ones that we had planned?
No, we can
I think
get
this
out
will
of
be
the
fun.
plan. Well, let's just
I want to
make
play
sure
more. I
that.
want to play a little more accordion.
Yeah, let's.
This
just
is called
make sure that
negotiation at home. For those of you watching,
Exactly.
this is a
It
negotiation.
was pretty easy, right?
Yeah.
Well, here, honestly, you know what? There's not much negotiation. I'm saying, should we play your song? She's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
sure, that sounds fine. You know.
All right.
Negotiate.
Vámonos.
So this song is called Al Diablo, right? So it talks about it's a little bit of a metaphor regarding meeting the devil, and so meeting your own demons and facing them. And I wrote it like very recently in a workshop that I was doing here, and so it's not recorded anywhere. So this is a very unique time for you to listen to this song, and hopefully we'll record it soon, and Gregorio will be my very special guest on accordion.
I better be.
Of course you will. And here it goes, Al Diablo. Okay. By the way, we have our dog right here.
You just can't
La
see it.
monita.
Mona.
Mona, Minnie. Well, she's really happy.
Just lie down. Oh, there it is. Sorry. Mona. There we go. She's there.
Esta crisis que yo siento, no quiero disimular. ¿Para qué la voy a negar? Sin mi arte yo no miento. No es que sea un sufrimiento, sino una autenticidad. Y con la autenticidad quiero afrontar el momento, porque solo habrá progreso mientras prima la verdad. El volver nueva, el volver a comenzar, el volver a comenzar, donde gente me comprenda, el destino que me lleve, compartiendo mi canción, voy feliz con mi pasión. A donde mi voz me lleve, y en esta tarde que llueve, comprometo mi misión. Voy feliz con mi pasión, a donde mi voz me lleve, en esta tarde que llueve, comprometo mi misión. A veces escucho voces que me quieren destemplar y siento mi fe temblar ante el ego con sus voces. Ya tuvimos muchos roces, pero no me han de vencer. He dejado de temer, prefiero blandir mi espada. Tengo firme mirada y al diablo lo voy a ver. ¡Epa!
Yeah, I was I was rocking my cumbia moves.
Are you?
Too bad you couldn't see them.
Cumbia dance
That was awesome,
instructional by
man.
Kabir.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, when I come to Colombia on the next trip, you'll have to. I recommend that trip
Oh,
for everyone. If you like traveling, there's nothing better than going and seeing the music and seeing it firsthand. It's such a rich cultural experience. So for everyone watching at home, three things. Number one, let's just recap. This was an educational lesson. Number one, midday tomorrow, Solange's single is going to drop. Go to YouTube, subscribe, and let's also subscribe to her on YouTube, on Spotify as well. Number two, check out Gregorio's music and check him out on the trip to Colombia. I really encourage it. And lastly, I want to say thank you to Sandra and Camilo, the incredible audio and visual team behind the scenes here, for lending their technical support and their emotional support. Sandra actually studied music therapy. She's a violinist. She's a musician herself. So I really appreciate their support. Check out the website down there if you need any support, mixing, mastering. If you're a musician at home and you need some work on any of your music, just send it to them and they'll give you the quarantine concert special series rate, which is 10% less than their normal rate. See, I haven't even approved this, but I know whatever they do with love. So look, thanks for joining. Tomorrow we have Madeline Peru, an incredible singer, joining. Veronica Swift is joining, who's a jazz singer, on Saturday. And then we have Mandy Gonzalez. Mandy Gonzalez, who stars in Hamilton, will be joining us as well. So great lineup. We're here at 10 p.m. Eastern every day from the dining room table of my parents. They're sleeping upstairs, but probably not anymore after you both woke them up. But I think they're dancing here. So thank you. And Gregorio, thanks for joining us. Solange, thanks for joining us. Wishing you all peace, love, harmony, and joy, and good health and good spirits.
Thank you, Kabir.
Thank you for having us.
We love sharing with you, and it's also good to see you.
Yeah, likewise, brother.
Hope to connect with everybody there that was watching. Thank you. You can connect with us through any social media platform you want, and hopefully we'll connect and see you again.
Yes.
Adios.
Good night, everyone.